Welcome to our YouTube channel, Moneyline with Nancy TV. This is where you get the latest updates on business, finance, economy, market, as well as investment information. If you couldn't follow us live on television, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, press the notification bell so that you can get notifications. Thank you. Enjoy this video. All right, welcome back. Tosin Osunkoya is joining me now. He's the Chief Executive Officer at Commercial Partners Asset Management. Hello, Tosin. Where have you been? Good morning. Hello, Tosin. Can you? Okay. It seems the network is. Tosin, are you there? Okay, let's try to reconnect with Tosin Osunkoya. We will be talking about inflation rate hikes as well as investment trends. Let's try as much as possible to reconnect with him again. But of course, the previous interview that I had with Dr. Bala Kefi, she's reassuring Nigerians that the central bank says it knows what it's doing, is staying the course, and telling Nigerians that there will be light at the end of the tunnel. I did mention at the beginning of the program that the MPC, which is the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria, made up of the central bank governor, the deputy governors, and some independent-minded people who the president also appoints. They come together 6 times in the year to decide on interest rates, not just monetary policy rate, liquidity ratio, as well as CRR. 6 times a year. The last meeting was done last week. All right, Tosin Osunkoya is joining me now, the Chief Executive Officer at Commercial Partners Asset Management. Tosin, can you hear me? Where have you been? Long time no see. What happened? You ran away?
I've been on the streets, you know.
Everybody
I've been on the street grinding.
Everybody's grinding, no.
Morning, Nancy. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Let's just get started. I don't know if you listened to my previous interview with the acting director of the MPD, yes, of the central bank. My question to you is, of course, we've seen 6 rate hikes this year. How do you think that these rate hikes have impacted investment trends? And what have you done to be able to adjust your client's portfolio? I guess there will be one readjustment or even many readjustments as possible.
Absolutely. So it depends on which side of the aisle or the divide you stand, okay? If you're a regular Joe in the market and you're looking to pick up good return, you see a lot of them going into fixed income instruments like treasury bills and federal government securities. And in some cases, you see some commercial papers. Those are in mid-20s. Yes, they are still giving you a negative return because inflation is still at a neighborhood of around 34. So you still have that negative return. But again, it's way better than you keeping your money in fixed deposit or in savings. So you have retail investors that are beginning to show interest in fixed income. However, for corporate organizations that are looking to expand their business, it is not a good time for them. We see some of them actually borrowing through commercial papers at a rate of 30 or even in some cases 33. And you begin to ask yourself that as a business, can you run an operation sustainably when you're borrowing at that level? For institutional investors, it is a good time for them, especially for those of them that are going long on duration. So, for instance, if you buy federal government securities at 22 and you have cash, you can actually hold on to that for a long time. I think that this elevated interest rate is not sustainable. I think that it might taper maybe towards the end of next year. So it's a mixed bag of where you stand. So some, they're happy to see this elevated rate. And for those that are in the business of manufacturing, it's not a good time for them.
The currency devaluation that we've seen, this year, how has it impacted investment?
Well, so again, what we are beginning to see, we are seeing some investors, especially sophisticated investors, move their money from local currency, which is naira, to foreign currency to preserve their wealth. and they're beginning to invest massively in, in euro bonds and in some cases US equities. US equities in our world has done tremendously well in 2024, and we're beginning to expose some of our clients to that. However, in the local equities market, there are certain stocks, particularly in the financial services, some of the banking stocks that have done very well. All share index today, year to date, has done about 30%. So if you are able to go in at the right time in some of those stocks and cherry pick the stocks that have outperformed ASI, you could, in a way, beat, depreciation of the currency. I think we're not completely out of the woods, but I don't think that the pace of depreciation that we witnessed in the last, 1 year to 2 years, we're going to experience it going forward. I think there is some element of deceleration of that depreciation. We begin to see some moderation because in the last, 1 to 2 years, we've seen about, Naira weakening to almost, 100%. Last year, we were in the neighborhood of about 700 to 800. Now we're talking about 1,600. I'm not sure that that would happen in the next, maybe 1 or 2 years. I think we're beginning to see that deceleration. So for investors, what they're looking at is what kind of local assets that can give them edge against that depreciation. I reckon that we begin to see some of them moving into real estate. Real estate in choice areas have, potentially giving a good return. But again, I would not advise that you need to go and borrow to go into real estate. Because if you borrow to go into real estate, you will certainly have not so much return because the debt service would completely wipe out your return. So by and large, I think what we're beginning to see is the diversification away from local currency to USD and USD investment.
What should be the 2025 investment strategy moving forward? Are there some bright spots that investors can really spot on and perhaps take a position?
I think, I mean, it's unfortunate. Even when you don't tell some of your clients, they know that they need to diversify away from the local currency. We're seeing massive investment or migration into foreign currency. Like I mentioned, Eurobond, for instance. So we expect that Fed, which is the US Fed, would hike, I'm sorry, would ease and cuts, maybe by 75 to 100 basis point in 2025. So it's important for some of our investors and investors that we're speaking to understand that there might be some rally in the Eurobond space, okay, particularly in sovereign and some corporate issuers in 2025. And we also expect that Trump's administration would portend it's pro market, let me put it that way. So we would see the stimulation of the US economy. Okay, Trump is a dovish and pro market president. So we will see some massive rally in the Eurobond space. In the US equity space, we are moving into the fourth revolution with regards to AI and generative AI and machine learning. We expect that if you are able, through the guidance of professionals, there's some stocks there that we think that some of our investors might pick. The stocks like Nvidia, Palantir, Tesla. I mean, a good number of stocks that they are still in the first innings in the AI revolution. So those for me are areas where we have massive investment opportunities. We expect that we will see gold mines in those areas. So that's basically what we're telling our investors. However, there are risks also that you need to consider. So my advice is for anybody to go into that space, it's important for you to have the guidance of a professional. When we come to the local market, I think real estate would do well, in my view. There's certain prime location, choice areas that I think that people should invest in. Land bank, I think, would do very well as well. I think for the fixed income market, I think that this level will stay elevated. I think the mid 20s to 30s will stay elevated. I mean, there are good names in commercial papers. I mean, names that I don't want to mention. on the air, but they are doing very well, close to 30. By and large, I think that for you to move into any or enjoy any of these investment opportunities, you need to speak to your asset managers to give you guidance. But
Okay.
next year,
Okay.
there will be massive opportunities in the market, both the local market and the foreign market.
Okay, I think Tosi will leave it at that now, but my friend, it shouldn't take this long for us to speak again. I hope that we don't grind as hard as we are grinding this year for next year. And I
I will
wish you,
certainly see you.
I wish you a lovely holiday in case we don't speak before Christmas. And I'll see
Thank
you
you very
next year.
much. All right. Merry Christmas to you.
All right, you
Bye.
too.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. In case this is your first time watching us, thank you. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, drop your comments as well as like, and most of all, share our content. Bye.